Beware of scams. This is going to be a short and sweet video because I got a message today that really took me to the next level of having to think about responding. And I never respond to anything that looks at all suspicious without doing some online research first. So, this topic actually relates to a podcast that my husband and I did just this past Sunday. As I record this, today is April 21st, 2026. So, our Sunday podcast went live on April 19th of 2026, and we were talking about scams directed at authors. And authors get multiple scam emails a day sometimes. And I have been one of those people that have gotten so many now that I'm pretty good at spotting fake emails right away. I haven't gotten a lot of direct messages or text messages, for which I'm thankful, but the emails are definitely a challenge. And some of them I have actually done either TikToks or YouTube shorts where I will read the basically the message that was sent to me. Most of them are generated by AI. They actually go through and they will probably load your book into AI, or they do an AI search online and they get a synopsis of the book and they will put that in the body of the email. So I kind of started this off and on little series of videos that I've been doing, just reading some of these messages, because honestly, some of the AI synopses are pretty good. But today's message was different. And I'm going to put it up on the screen as I talk you through it. So this one got my heart going this morning. It came in at around 7:15-ish, and I was just kind of waking up, scrolling through my messages, and it was the tagline was something like, "Your writing caught our attention," or something. That's very commonly what these messages, the subject line will be for these kind of messages. But, I was reading through it because I thought it would be the same thing I've been getting normally from book clubs and people or famous authors. I got a message from Stephen King once. That was so fun. Stephen King. But this one, as I was reading through it, it was not the typical AI generated glowing review of my book. It was basically, it sounded very legitimate. It, wished me a good day, said that my work stood out to them, and that this person was an acquisitions editor for Penguin Random House. So this is the biggest, aside from the Stephen King email, this was the biggest name I have received. And I read through it a few times, and actually it did get my heart going a little bit because I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if this is legitimate? But of course, I did my due diligence. I did a search. I never ever click on anything because that's one of the ways they get you. Another way is if you actually respond to the message. So normally I, laugh at them. I may read them on a video and then I'll delete them and never have anything to do with them again. But this one I actually had to go back and forth a couple of times because I was waking up and it was taking my mind a little while to kind of put the pieces together. And what really points this out, what really emphasizes the fact that this is a scam email, is that the name of the editor, I don't know if this version of her name is actually used in this way, but her return email address was a Gmail account. So I found a list of, Penguin Random House has a page on their website talking about these kinds of fraud. And one of the things they point out is that the editors will never contact you from either a Gmail or a Hotmail account. So, I already knew this wasn't real, even though my body was kind of reacting like, oh my gosh, what if this is it? What if it's the big thing? So I'll show you just a quick shot here of the kind of the fraud tips from the Penguin Random House website, where it does talk about the never coming from the editors like Gmail or Hotmail or anything. It would be coming from a Penguin Random House official email address. And they say if you contact them back, which I recommend you never do, but if you contact the person who has contacted you and ask them to send you an email through their legitimate company account, they'll usually put you off in some way. So I just wanted to show this particular email because it really made me do a double take. And I am someone who has been dealing with these for years. So I've gotten very jaded about these kind of messages. And logically, I knew it wasn't real. Big publishing houses are not going to reach out to someone like me who has very few sales. I think for this month, I have sold 8 copies of my Paranormal Romance, Passion Restored. So it is not in any way a viral book that the publishing houses are going to take notice of. But the other thing about this email in particular, what I hadn't seen, I hadn't seen in other emails, was that they mentioned that if I do have representation, they would be happy to work through my agent. And I had never seen that kind of thing in a scam email before. But I think I already mentioned that normally the scam emails that I get are related to, oh, we are a book club and yada yada, or oh, I am an author and I love to connect with other authors. And then they kind of try to get you to go back and forth. You can see I'm still a little worked up about this topic. But they try to get you to go back and forth with them. And at some point, they're going to start asking you for money. And this is basically what these scams boil down to. They are preying on authors like myself who don't have a lot of visibility. And they're hoping that, even if a small percentage of the authors that they reach out to respond back and fall prey to their scam, they probably will make a decent amount of money out of that, because they often, for the book clubs or the paid review kind of scams, it's usually either in the hundreds or the thousands of dollars. And really, my message today is please, 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 if you get an email like this, I don't care if you're an author, I don't care if you're another type of artist, I don't care if you're just somebody who gets random emails about, it could be something like, I'm an old friend of yours, or there's the joke about the old Nigerian prince, I'm a Nigerian prince and you are related to me, kind of thing. Be careful if you get messages from people you don't recognize, and make sure that you do some research. Don't click on any links in the email. If it's a text message or a phone call, normally, if they leave a voicemail, I would just delete it. If it's not somebody recognized, just delete it. Same thing for a text message. You can often, at least on my phone, you can delete and report as spam. And with the emails, you can also, you can have them go directly to your spam folder. But if they look really legitimate and they show up in your main account, do not click on anything. Do not respond. Do a little research first. So this is my public service announcement for the day. And as I said, it is related to a podcast that JT and I did just the other day, but I really wanted to reiterate how important it is to do your due diligence, because if someone who's very familiar with these scams thinks it looks legitimate, they're getting much more sophisticated. And people who are not familiar with these kind of scams, people who are very young maybe, who have not had a lot of experience, really young writers, I worry that they'll fall victim to these kind of things and they'll think, oh, hey, somebody noticed my work, which, it's fine. At some point, someone may notice your work. But big publishing houses will not reach out to you directly. I'm sorry. And I knew that. And even though I knew that, I still got excited about the email. I mean, I don't know if that means I'm taking a step up in the world because this is a totally new one for me, or, if just since I haven't fallen for a lot of the other scams, then, maybe they're trying to up their game so that they can try to catch me. I don't know. And I'm sure that they send these out to probably millions of people at this point, considering how many people self-publish. JT noticed that we had a large number of hits on our website, and specifically on my book before we did our podcast on Sunday. And I got a message not long after we got all those hits it was another one of those scam emails. So they do go through, and I don't know if they're using bots to crawl it or if they are legitimately having people do it. I suspect it's probably bots. And then, they're trying to make these things look so sophisticated and so believable that people will fall for the scam and they'll make easy money and take off. And then in many cases with struggling artists, it's going to be a really bad financial hit. So please, like I said, do not respond. Do not click on anything. It's fine to have a laugh. I mean, I'm having a good time with them because I'm recognizing them for what they are. But I also do feel bad because there are a lot of us who might be considered starving artists. We're not making a lot of money on what we do. And if people are in dire financial straits, maybe they're struggling to make ends meet and they're hoping that something they do will bring in a little extra income to help them pay for their rent or their medical bills. I really feel, horrible that people are preying on people in that situation. And like I said, I don't care what walk of life you're in. I don't care what you do. Please be careful when you get these unrecognized or messages that from people you don't recognize. And if it is someone that you do recognize, but it also seems a little suspicious, because I remember there was a period of time when scammers were making phone calls and saying that a person's relative was in jail and they needed bail money right away or something like that. These scams can take a variety of different forms. So just please take a step back, be careful, and do your due diligence to hopefully protect yourself from losing very large sums of money that may really affect your life. Oh, it's so frustrating, and I feel so bad. Like I said, people who are younger, I know when I was in my 20s, I would have easily fallen for these kind of scams because I did not have the knowledge of the world that I do now. And the fact that I'm so jaded about these scams really says something, because that shows you just how often they're happening. So, again, my public service announcement today to you: please be aware of who is contacting you. Do your due diligence. If you don't recognize them, make sure it's something legitimate. If it's not, delete it and move on. Do not respond. If you want to report them, I think there are a variety of ways that you can report fraud and scams, but unfortunately, there are so many of them. I don't know how much follow-up there is on those reports. So, I mean, if you feel like you need to take the time to do that, please do so, because the more often they're reported, the better. But also, as I mentioned, JT found that we had gotten a lot of hits on my book in particular, and it turned out that the IP address was registering, or had been registered just the day before, and I think it was in Pakistan or something. So be careful, do your research, and then just have a great day, because hopefully you are not falling prey to these ridiculous scammers, and they're getting frustrated because they're not making an easy buck off of you. That was really not my intended content for the day, but I really wanted to get this message out because, like I said, JT and I just a couple of days ago did the podcast on this very topic. And right afterward, I get a message that is so much more sophisticated than any I've seen before, that it really made me say, hey, I need to reiterate this information and just kind of, give you if nothing else, give you a little insight into what happens to people like us, small authors, where we're already struggling financially to try to make ends meet when it comes to publishing our own work. and they're trying to scam us out of any money that we might make, which we haven't yet. So they're not going to get very far with that. But it helps if I don't fall victim to what they are trying to do in the first place. And I hope that you don't fall victim as well. So I hope you do not get any of these messages. But anyway, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you again soon. I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. Take care.